In an old house in the town of TikTok lived a family with 4 children. One day, while playing hide and seek in the attic, the youngest, Omar, found an old clock hidden under some boxes. It was huge, made of wood with Roman numerals and an ornately carved face. But there was something strange about it. Instead of ticking forward, it ticked backward. Curious, Omar took it downstairs to show his siblings. His brother and sisters were skeptical, but when they heard its eerie sound, they got scared and ran away. So Omar wound up the clock and set it on the kitchen counter next to the empty hourglass. Then he went out to play. Hours passed, and when Omar came back inside, he noticed that the hourglass was full of sand again, but the clock was still ticking backward. As the minutes ticked by, the children started to panic. They couldn't understand how the hourglass had filled up, nor could they figure out why the clock was running backward. Just then, their mother walked in and, seeing the mess, started to scold them for not cleaning up their toys. But when she noticed the clock, she stopped and said, "Oh my goodness, the long-lost time turner. How did you find this?" The children were shocked. Did their mother know something about the clock? She explained that the clock had belonged to their great-great-grandfather, a famous inventor who was also a secret agent. He used the clock to travel through time on missions for the king. But one day he disappeared, and so did the clock. Until now, no one had laid eyes on it or seen it tick again. The mother continued, "Your great-great-grandfather left behind a journal filled with stories of his exciting adventures. Each story began with a riddle, and the answer to the riddle would lead him to a new adventure." She turned to Omar and said, "You found the first clue, the old clock that ticks backward. Now you must find the other clues and decipher the riddles if you want your great-great-grandfather to return home." Omar knew he had to act fast. If he didn't, his mother would wind up the clock and send him back to the future, where he would never get to see his family again. He raced to the attic to look for more clues. In the corner, he saw a painting of a knight wearing a crown. Beneath the painting was a small hole. Using a screwdriver, Omar removed the knight's helmet and found a key. With the key, he unlocked a secret compartment in the attic floorboards. Inside was a scroll with a riddle. "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Omar thought hard. Then he remembered. There was something like this in his mom's office. He raced downstairs and burst through the door. On her desk was a globe. As he ran his fingers over the continents, he heard a click. The globe spun around, revealing a message: "Beware the whispering gallery." Time is almost up. The children ran to the town square, where their mother had told them the time turner was created. They found a clock tower with a whispering gallery that went around the world. But the clock had stopped working long ago. To make matters worse, as the last of the sunlight faded, the hourglass began to glow. In a panic, Omar looked everywhere for a way to fix the clock. And that's when he noticed a small inscription above the door. Only the melody of creation can turn back time, but they didn't know any melodies from 1899. Just then, a street performer walked by playing a violin. Maybe he could help. The children explained their problem and asked if he knew any old songs. The violinist thought for a moment. "I do know one from 1899, but I haven't played it in years. Will you help me find the notes?" They all went inside the tower. As the violinist played the notes, the clock began to chime. But when the last note faded, the hands were still moving in reverse. They had failed. Suddenly, the hourglass began to glow brightly, then exploded into a shower of sparks. Before the children could react, they were sucked into the swirling vortex. Where will they go? When will they arrive? And will they ever return home? Find out in the next episode. See you then. Bye.